Hey, what's up, lawn care nuts? Good morning. So today we're gonna do another update and a little bit more work here on Frankenstein, our Bermuda grow. But before we get too much into this, boy, it doesn't need to be cut, but there's a reason for that. But just getting that sea grape up and out of the way, which you'll see it's dangling now, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But just getting that up out of the way, allowing the irrigation to get up underneath there and get sunlight has really allowed the Bermuda to start moving in. Now, one other thing has also helped this Bermuda to start moving in, and that is rain. So as many of you know, we had a tropical storm that hit us almost direct here in St. Petersburg last week, and it actually knocked the power out. Here, let me tell you a little bit of the story that I was dealing with. Hey, what's up, y'all? So I haven't been on all day because our power's been knocked out for, I don't know, like multiple hours. You know it's bad when the power company sets up a generator like this? So when the power went out, they came and set this generator up and then they left. That was many, many hours ago. It's pretty much their way of saying, you're screwed, so we're gonna give you this little generator to ship. Of course, I don't need their generator, I have my own, and I live across the street anyway, where all the work has really been getting done. They had not trimmed this easement in many years. You see, I keep mine cleared out, but beyond wasn't cleared, and that's what's killing the wires. Now it's all cut down, look at it. So now see, they've got the wires cleared all the way down, They had to go a whole block down. It's like a friggin' jungle. Now the cleanup guys have to come in and clean up. And then once the cleanup guys clean all that up, then the power company can come up and rehook up the wires and we'll get our power back. Probably sometime tomorrow, late evening. See, but I didn't need the free generator from the city or from the power company because I got my own. Balls, baby. So there you go, so there's Tropical Storm Colin update. Good news is though, all that heavy rain, my Bermuda is really filling in. In the meantime, I'm just hanging out here with absolutely no care in the world because look at those beautiful blue skies. So this just shows how important rain help is. I mean, this stuff is growing like crazy. And by the way, so is my St. Augustine over there. Also growing like crazy from all the rain we've gotten. Now, just as the rain is really good for the Bermuda, it's also really good for the weeds. I've got a ton more crabgrass coming in here. I should have put a pre-emergent down a while ago, but I just haven't, doing so many. I've been having so much fun doing other things with fertilizer here, I just kind of neglected the chemical aspect. Anyway, today's video isn't about killing weeds, even though I might spray them a little later. Today we're gonna try something that a lot of you guys have asked about that sounds logical, it sounds like it would work, sounds like it'd be a lot of fun, and it sounds like it'd be a cheap and easy way to help thicken up your Bermuda if you're in a similar situation rehabbing like I am. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get that old yard butler tool. Do you guys remember that thing? I bought it on Amazon. I think it was like 30 bucks. I'll put a link to it below. No, they're not a sponsor. I just bought it because it was the cheapest plugger I could find. And I used it in the backyard plug grow. And it worked pretty well for a small area like that. But it didn't really present a practical way to do a complete and brand new plug planting. Where that tool comes into use and really shines is in transplanting plugs. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to take healthy Bermuda from one area and transplant it to another. And then secondly, we're going to try grabbing some sprigs. You see, what we usually do is we trim the sprigs off the sidewalk and blow them away. Well, I'm actually going to trim them off and save them and see if I can transplant them. It sounds perfect for Frankenstein, doesn't it? All right, so we're definitely on our summer pattern here in Florida. I'm getting a little rain shower coming in while the sun's still shining. It's gonna be like this all day long. But the first thing I need to do is go ahead and give the lawn a cut. Now, ideally, I should have cut it 3 days before this. And you don't wanna cut it as low as you normally do. I cut it 1.5 inches right now, but because it's overgrown, I'm gonna cut it about 2.5 inches. I don't wanna stress it out too much, but I also don't want it to be quite as long and shaggy as it is right now. So if you do this, what you need to do is cut the lawn about 3 days before this and cut it about 1 inch higher than you normally do. Alright, now next step. Now you're gonna notice I didn't do any edging or trimming here, and I did that on purpose. First thing we gotta do though is survey our area here. So let's go ahead and pick 2 areas. We're gonna pick this area right here, this area here, and then we're also gonna go ahead and do this area right here. Those are gonna be our 2 experiment spots and see how they come out. So now what we need to do then is pick our donor area and make sure that we have enough donors to fill up these couple spots, which I'm pretty sure we do. So we'll talk about Sprigs in a minute, but this is my donor area. It's the area that you guys know I talk about. It's the only nice area of the lawn. A little bit of crabgrass in here that I sprayed but then started to come back from the heavy rains. But anyway, I'm gonna take a few plugs right out of here. The other thing to consider is that even though we're doing Bermuda for Bermuda and this area is the same, we still want to make sure that the sun exposure from the area that we're starting in is very similar to the area that we're transplanting to. You got to give these transplants the best leg up that you can, and the way you do that is to change as few things about their environment as possible. Now we're going to uproot them and take them out of the ground, so that's going to cause a lot of change in their environment, but let's not change the sun composition or the water composition or other things that are in our control. Let's keep those in our control and let's keep those consistent. All right, so once you've got your soil plugs pulled out, now you go to your donor area and pull out that same number of plugs, and these are going to be healthy, living, growing Bermuda plugs. Now you want to be a little bit gentle here, don't be too crazy. I like to put out a board and stack them up nice in a row like soldiers, ready to go off to battle in a new area of the lawn. This also reminds me a lot of hair transplants, doesn't it?
It is your real hair. It's your natural hair. You wash it, you cut it, you swim with it.
The biggest thing to be careful of here is you don't want to grab areas that happen to have a little bit of a weed infestation. Make sure that your plugs are clean and clear of any pests. We don't want to be moving those guys around the lawn. You could also put down a little Milorganite in the bottom of this hole. I put a little peat moss in the bottom just to help retain a little bit of moisture, and I don't need any more fertilizer here. Those of you guys that follow the channel know I've put way too much fertilizer on this area for the year. But if you haven't done that, sure, put about a half a handful of Milorganite in the bottom of each hole, and you might even want to throw a little on the top when you're done. I also throw a little bit of peat moss down and around them just to retain a little bit of moisture, but I can tell you that the first time you get a good rain, that peat moss will be long gone. Okay, but we got to fill these holes in, right? Right, so what you do is you take the dirt that you pulled out originally from the other area that you saved in a bucket, and you use that dirt to refill in the holes that you pulled from the donor area. Genius! And next, let's try transplanting some sprigs. And if you're gonna harvest sprigs, the first thing you need to do is go steal your wife's best kitchen scissors. The first thing is you gotta prepare the soil really well. Get all the crap that's out of there. Any kind of old carcasses of weeds, pull those out and get the soil prepared nicely. Next, just take the ends that you cut, stick them about an inch down in the soil, cover with a little bit of peat moss, and stomp on them, tamp them down. The key here is in numbers. The more sprigs you can put there, the more chance you're gonna have that some are gonna survive and fill this area in. All right, guys, that kind of wraps it up. Get yourself a craft beer. Keep this watered like normal. And I got a rainstorm coming in here, so I gotta hurry. Stay tuned over the next couple weeks and we'll see how these plugs and sprigs did. As always, I'm Alan Hain, the Lawn Care Nut. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the lawn.